Lesson 3, Unit 2, Team Development. Team development deals with the actions that turn a group into a team. What is a group? A group consists of individuals who are assigned by the project manager to do work on a project. There's usually a high level of dependency for directions from the project manager for every action and on everything that needs to happen. With a team, we have a different behavior. Everyone is working towards the same goal and they coordinate the work among themselves. There is no dependency from the project manager to tell them what to do, when to do it, and how to do it every time. They understand the roles and responsibilities and the objectives of the project, and they are able to coordinate the work with each other and deliver project outputs. It's important to make the distinction between a group and a team. Here are some characteristics of an effective team. There's a clear sense of mission. They understand the goal of the project and they are committed to achieve it. There is interdependency. They understand that they don't work alone and know they cannot be successful without close collaboration. Cohesiveness. They have a spirit of teamwork that creates synergy. A team has a high level of trust. There is enthusiasm. People are happy and they are motivated to work, and they are results-oriented rather than activity-oriented. But when there is no clear understanding how to manage a team, any team is at risk of failure. Here are some of the reasons that project teams can fail. Unclear goals. Everybody seems to have a different understanding of what the project objective is. Poorly defined team roles create confusion and duplication of efforts. Lack of motivation reduces the energy of the team to be more productive. Poor communications creates misunderstandings in the team. Poor leadership is when the project manager focuses more on managing than leading the team. And high levels of turnover, they cause disruptions in the cohesiveness of the team and reduces their levels of performance. One of the critical responsibilities as a project manager when you are in the early stages of implementation is to build the skills and competencies of your team. There are two approaches you can use once you identify the gaps in the skills in your team: external or internal training. External training is useful when you need to build the skills that are not available in the organization. The training can come from consultants, institutions, or even partner organizations. It is important that your team has the skills they need in order to do their job. Otherwise, they will be delivering outputs that will not have the quality that is needed, and it's much harder and expensive to fix it later. If you don't have the resources to hire an external consultant or institution, you can use internal training. It is a good option when there are people in your organization who can help build the skills your team needs. Once you identify this subject matter expert, you can ask them to help you build the specific skills in your team. This can be done through a mentorship program, one-on-one coaching, and job shadowing, or observing an experienced employee perform certain job tasks. This is useful when you have a new team member and they need to understand the process and procedures of the organization. You can also have a mix of internal training and external training to provide your team with all the opportunities they need to build the skills and competencies. A tool that you can use during the initial step is the team performance development. When you start working with your team, you can agree on specific development targets they need to achieve. In this example, the chart has communication, collaboration, monitoring, coordination, shared responsibility, and problem solving as some of the skills the team will need. The baseline is what you will identify early in the project. On a scale from 1 to 5, 1 being low and 5 being high, you will agree with the team on the target levels they need to achieve and when you want the team to achieve them. They can choose the best method to learn those skills and start improving the performance and competencies. You can track these performance targets on a regular basis to see how they are making progress. Eventually, you want the whole team to move to a position in which you will know that they have the level of competencies and skills needed to do the work. Every team moves through different development phases. These are necessary and inevitable in order for the team to achieve the following: to face up challenges. Development projects are full of issues and only a team that works together, they are able to tackle those problems. To find solutions, to plan the work and deliver results. Understanding these different phases of team development can help you identify the right actions to help your team become more effective. These are the 4 phases of team development. They are called forming, storming, norming, and performing. Every project team goes through those phases. At the start of the project, the team will usually find itself in the forming phase and eventually moves until it reaches the final phase of performing. You notice that the level of performance changes as the team moves through all these phases. When they are in the storming phase, the level of performance is lower than before. This is caused by confusions on the roles and responsibilities and low trust levels. That is a good time to build the competencies and skills. You don't want them to start doing a critical job in your project when the team is in this stage. You want them to move to the next phase, the norming phase, which is when they have a better understanding of their roles and responsibilities, and then you see the performance level go up. Once they already identify themselves as a team and they have more trust, they will move to the performance phase. Let's look at each one of these phases to have a good understanding of what they are. This is the first step in the transition from a group of individuals to a highly performance team. The forming phase has these characteristics. People have anxiety about the task because they don't know the project well and they are not clear about the roles and responsibilities. They avoid conflict because they don't really know each other. They are still getting a sense of who the other team members are. That is why they are hesitant in collaborating and contributing with ideas, because they need to know what the rules and norms are for this team. In this phase, the individuals are trying to get to know each other and understand what the roles will be and how the team will be organized. Later, once the team starts getting to know each other, they start to show the behaviors characteristics of the second phase, the storming. There is some competition, there are some disagreements, mostly because they are unclear of the roles and unclear of the objectives, and there is too much focus on details. This is when the team starts getting to know each other a little bit more, but there is still not enough trust amongst them. Each person is trying to find their position within the team. They may have disagreements on the project approach, some reactions to the culture of the organization, and even on how you're going to be supervising them. It is natural for them to feel this way. It is a normal phase in team development, and you can help them move them out of this stage by giving them guidance, open communications, setting up some rules, but most important, to help them build a team identity. The third phase is norming. This is when you're implementing more of the work habits. You have regular team meetings, the team has a better understanding of the rules, the norms, and the values that are going to be used in the project team. At this moment, team members have a better sense of each other. There are more social interactions. They know each other by name and they know more about their backgrounds and experiences, and there is an increased level of trust. One of the key components that help in this space is open communications, especially from the project manager. You need to have an open door policy in which you are available for any issues or ideas a team member might want to discuss with you. The last phase is performing. This is when your team is at its highest levels of performance. There is a high level of loyalty, participation, and motivation. Everybody has a clear understanding of the project objectives and their roles in achieving them. There is an increased level of collaboration and trust, increased interdependence, and better group decision making. This is the moment when your team starts working and performing as a team, and that is when they are ready to face the challenges that the project is going to throw at them. They are able to respond to the challenges by combining their skills, combining their competencies, and able to deliver solutions that will improve the deliverables of the project. Another important factor during the process of team development is team interactions. Sometimes the way organizations and projects are structured is influenced by the organizational chart that is mostly used for supervision, but is not so much for facilitating the team interactions and communications. When a team is structured under this approach, it will limit the way they interact with each other. This is typical in organizations that have a strong culture of control. What happens is when somebody needs to coordinate work with another team, they usually have to go and follow a hierarchy that is set up in the organization, and that is time consuming. It's not efficient. It creates a lot of bureaucracy and it makes it difficult for people to work together. What is needed, especially in an adaptive approach, is to give them freedom to go through the supervisory levels to communicate, coordinate, and collaborate. When everybody communicates, they can increase their level of coordination and increase their level of performance. There are no rigid rules for how communication and collaboration within the team should happen. The idea is that people will be able to build that network, be able to collaborate, and be able to have less dependency on the project manager. And that is good because you need to work on issues that are more important. You have built a team that is able to work on its own. They are able to coordinate among themselves. They're able to solve the problems on their own. Your job is to lead them and make sure they have everything they need to achieve the project objectives.